Good morning, everybody. Jack O'Malley with my weekly update on Groundhog's Day. So we definitely have winter here. I'm just looking out the window. Basically, it's funny. I've lived in the north now for, 38, 40 years, whatever it is. So snow is not as big a deal to the north as it is here in the south, where all the people are. And I get it. There's so many more cars on the road, and there's not as many places to push the snow, that sort of thing. I understand it, but it is funny, 5 to 9 inches of snow today, and they're closing everything. Snow emergency. So I just chuckle. Some of it is good-natured fun. I poke because I do understand a lot more people. But so they've basically canceled a session for today and tomorrow because they're supposed to get up to about a foot of snow today and tomorrow. So I'm going to work here today. I'm recording this early. I'm going to work here today in the office till about noon or so, and then I'll head home because I'm going to do it. So just so you know. But I do want to touch base on a couple of things that I find interesting. This is more just a comment, a passing comment. So we have this new redistricting committee, right? The people voted it in. It was pushed by a group, a very left-leaning group, voters, not politicians. They've got their agenda. It's fine. And they get this thing passed. And one of the reasons was they did not want to see a Republican legislature drawing maps again, because the Republicans have held control the last couple of redistricting. So obviously the way we do it has got to be illegal, right? And immoral and fattening. Even though our lead in the House and the Senate is narrow, right? It's not as if there's a 75% or 75 seat lead over the Dems in the House. Not at all. It's just a few seats, and pretty much the same in the Senate. But anyway, I'm not here to rehash all of that. But what I think is funny is now this independent redistricting committee has basically got the Democrats saying the new districts are unfair to Democrats. I remember over the years I had employees, you could never make them happy. No matter what you did, they always found a new reason to gripe. I'll just leave it there. You can connect some dots. Okay, let's see here. What else? Oh, I've gotten a couple of letters here the last couple of days, via Facebook message and things like that I just want to remind people, because I understand that people are paying attention to maybe an issue, but they're not really paying attention till it hits them, right? And I'm speaking of unemployment. We've been dealing with this for a couple of years now with the pandemic. Remember, we went from a robust economy. I'll never forget this quote. We went from a robust economy to I just forgot the word here, a depression era unemployment in 3 weeks. We went from the height to the depth in 3 weeks. We had millions of people laid off. UIA is a mess. I got it. But I've had a couple of folks reach out and say, well, what are you doing about it? I have this problem. So let me tell you what we've been doing about it, and then let me tell you what we've been doing about it. So just on the UIA, just so you know, we've held hearings, oversight committee that I'm on. We've held hearings. We had the Auditor General, independent Auditor General, go in and do some reports. We have now come together with 6 pieces of legislation to help reform the UIA. We've passed them out of the House. They're on their way to the Senate. We've got to hope that the Senate takes them up, and then the governor will sign them. I think, are these bills perfect? No, but they're a huge step forward, right? So, and my bill of a citizen's advocate would help the folks who are having a problem and can't understand or navigate the system. So we are doing things about that. But when it hits you and your family, I get it. it's like, now what's happening? So with that in mind, let me repeat, and I've done this before, and when anybody Facebooks me, message and that sort of thing, I have a message that says, look, this is not the place to conduct business. Here's my office phone number. Here's my email. If you've got official business, contact us through the phone or the email, not a social media platform. Okay? And so I reached out to this gentleman today and I said, I don't even know what district you're in, because I just have a name. I can't see all their contact information on the social media, right? So I said, I don't know what district you're in. So here, if you're having an unemployment problem, here's what you need to do. You need to call or email your representative. If that's me, great, but I've got to take care of the people at 101st, and we've helped over 1,000 people with their unemployment issues over the last year and a half. So you need to send us your name, contact information, address, phone number, and a claim number if you have it, and a brief description. Now, please understand what I'm about to say here. It's not that we don't care. It's that we're dealing with hundreds of these, right? And if you send us a 4-page description of everything, we can't read it all. And if we try, that's just going to slow us down. So send us a brief description. Hey, I've reached out to them. They're not getting back. They say my claim is closed because. Boom. All we really need is that claim number is going to tell us a lot when we go in and look, okay? So please, it's not that my office or the office of your representative doesn't care. It's just a brief description. We don't need, and then on this date I called, on this date I called. I got it. Your story, unfortunately, is not that much different than others we've dealt with. You see what I'm saying? So, unemployment issue, or any issue really, but unemployment, call the office of your representative or email them. They're going to need your name, contact information, phone number, email, and a claim number and a brief description of the problem. And then we will help you to the best of our ability. Now, I'm going to tell you we have a pretty good success rate because of our advocacy on behalf of a constituent. There's a quick claim, or we're going to be able to say, look, hang in there. This should be taken care of in X amount of days, okay? Can't promise it's miraculous, fix, but that's the way to do it. But on the other hand, what are you doing about it? The legislative process is not a fast one, right? We've heard the issues. We've talked to people, business owners and people, and we've come up with some really good legislation. Now we've got to get it through, and then we've got to enact it for down the road. So on the unemployment issue, that's where we're at. But contact your representative. If that's me, I'm out there. Google repO'Malley.com has all my contact information. Rep O'Malley, no apostrophe, repO'Malley.com. All right? And then one other issue I want to just touch on here that it's a big issue that yesterday in Education Committee just became a real thing. Now, I know we can pick on a particular issue about education, and I want to speak about education as a whole here. What's wrong with our education system? Again, I'm not picking on any one particular thing, but since I've come to the legislature, I want to explain to you what I see is wrong with the education system in the state of Michigan. And the number one thing is there's no accountability. Let me give you an example of what happened yesterday, tell you what happened yesterday, and then I'm going to explain to you what I mean. So our chair, Representative Hornberger, has a bill that says the state's pupil accounting and auditing manual would need to have legislative approval. Right now, superintendent, school board, the MDE, Department of Ed can just do this. Now, what all that means, in a sense, doesn't matter for this. Point is, the Department of Education put in a card of opposition. Basically, the card says, Michigan Department of Education does not wish to speak, opposes the bill. My question is, Why aren't they here to tell us why they oppose this bill? What's wrong with this bill? That's our job, to hear both sides. They don't want to say, and I said in committee, I said, this is a massive sign of arrogance by the education department. We've got a bill about what they do, and they're opposed, but they don't have time. They don't want to come talk to us. That's BS. That's the problem with the MDE. There's no accountability. None. And look at it. We've got a school board that's elected. Who's on the school board? Who's your school board member? State level, not local, state level. Who knows? You don't really have one because they're elected statewide. Right now, I believe there is not one school board member north of I-96 that lives north of I-96. What? We've got thousands, millions of acres north. Thousands and tens of thousands of citizens north that aren't represented by this bunch. I don't care. Our superintendent is then hired by this bunch of nobodies. There have been bills, and I've supported them, and I'm going to continue to support. What if our school board, the state school board, was set up in regions, Clare North, something like that, Gaylord North, then between Gaylord and Mount Pleasant, however we decide them, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, 8 regions, and then someone from that region runs to be on the state school board. At least then there would be some accountability. At least then somebody has to come forward and ask for your vote. Right now, when was the last time a state school board member asked you to vote for them? I'm going to guess never. So we need to do that because the people in the Upper Peninsula, Northern and Lower, we have no representation on that school board. That's wrong. They're an elected body. We need to change that. The other thing, our state superintendent, Dr. Rice, he is accountable only to people who aren't accountable to anybody else. Our state school board, or our superintendent, should be appointed by the governor. Now, you might say, Whitmer, she can't. No. And whoever, if you're a Republican, it'd be the Republican governor. At least there's some accountability. But right now, we've got this group of people that are so arrogant, they don't even come to tell us why they're opposed. It's just that we're opposed. So, lots of problems with our education system. A lot of good things that are being done in individual schools and with teachers and families and school boards. Local control is huge. And on the state level, I wouldn't even be all that opposed if we did away with the state school board, but I think that's a harder lift. Let's have regional school board members so that at least you can talk to your state school board member. So, there you go. Just some things for a snowy day to chew on. Unemployment issues or any issue. Find out who your representative is, how to contact them, and call them, right? You can Google it, and boom, there you are. And again, the way to get my contact information the easiest is repomalley.com. Google that, it'll pop up. My information's there, and please, if we can help you, we have helped thousands of people from unemployment issues to permitting issues to all sorts of things. So please give the office a call if you're in my district. I love you. If you're really screwed, obviously we'll help you wherever you're at in the state. But you have a representative, you have a state senator, you need to contact them first if you can figure that out, okay? All right, with that, it's really snowing now. Probably heading north around noon, so by the time you're watching this, because I'll post it for later, I should be snug back at home with my lovely wife. All right? Till then, be safe, stay warm, and happy Groundhog's Day. I think he saw his shadow today. I forget what that means. Take care.